Hey, aloha la hui, and everybody that will tune into this. I just want to explain what happened today up in Standing Rock, North Dakota, as we protect the waters from the Dakota Access Pipeline. At around 7, my friends and I woke up and we went to the front lines and we waited there patiently. The vibe was pretty calm. I think around 10 or 11, we started noticing about 14 Ford F-150 trucks lining up on the construction side. Those were DAPL's private security. Around 2 to 3 hours later, maybe 2, the police started lining up on the hill construction side again, sirens on. About half an hour to an hour later, the police started coming in on highway 1806 with their armored vehicles, while National Guard on the east went to the east and stayed up on a hill and watched us. As the police came in, they were all lined up, full riot gear, as we've all seen. The 2 armored cars that were there was just so surreal and so unnecessary, but protectors, it hurt to see those sacred burial sites being dug up right in front of our faces, and as Native Americans tied to them personally for their culture, that wasn't cool, and so some of them decided to take the action to go beyond the fence to the construction site and hold ground there. From then, the police started making a line in front so that protectors would not go further toward the construction site. From there on, the police kept telling us to move as they inched forward. It came to a point where I was up on a hill on the construction side, but not on the site actually. And I looked to my friend and I was like, I don't know if I can move. I don't know if I can let them just come through like that. They came close and they inched forward, and we moved a little bit back. And this is all going on while our arrestables were having prayer circle in the frontline camp. The police and National Guard ended up going inside the frontline camp, around more east. There are protectors. Some of them went more east to try and stop them, to try and block them. I made sure to remind everybody to stay grounded, and for me that meant being directly on the front lines, and I wasn't scared. There wasn't a point where I was scared up until the very last point for me personally. It's still going on right now. There's still frontlining right now, but there came a point where I had to leave. Anyway, on the east side, when we were in the frontline camp, I was standing in front of five men with their rifles pointed at us. This is happening in America right now, 2016, and you have peaceful protectors protecting water for more than 18 million people who rely on the Missouri River for clean, fresh drinking water. You have our Native American brothers and sisters protecting sacred sites, protecting what they're so divinely connected to, culturally, ancestrally, so deeply connected to. Hurt is being bubbled up from the countless hundreds of years that Native Americans have been trampled on, have been have been desecrated, have been dishonored, just like us Hawaiians. I've been in contact as much as I can with Auntie Pua and all of the kia'i at the contested case hearing. I was privileged for a chance to hear your prayers. Auntie Pua told me that as you introduced yourselves, you said, "Hi, my name is blah blah blah, and I stand with Standing Rock," and that made my heart just so full. And as the as the police kept coming forward, closer and closer to the frontline camp, now almost perpendicular to it, they started macing us. I was maced 3 times. The first time I was covering my sister, who is part of the youth runners, making sure that she's okay. We got her out of there. Her face was maced. We got her medical attention. Medics were on it. They flushed her eyes. She went right back to the front lines, right in front of the police. The youth runners, my sister, Jacelyn Charger, right back up there. The second time, we both were maced in the face. I got it all in my eyes. My brother Isaac got me out of there. Medical attention, flushed my eyes out. Jacelyn went right back to the front lines, and I could not leave her side, so I went right back with her to make sure she was okay. I look to my right, and I see my sister Lauren, another youth council member, whose wrist was broken for the second time today by the police officers. The first time happened on either Friday or Saturday when she was trying to protect a little boy because he was so terrified that the police were macing people. So she was trying to get the little boy out there, and her wrist was broken by the baton of police officers. The second time they were trying to grab her and she was pulling away, and it broke it again. She felt it. And this warrior stood there just taking the pain. And she got medical attention, and her wrist was put in a splint, and she was right back up there, up in the front lines. She was maced at least 4 times. At least. Every time, right back up there. The third time, I had to get Jacelyn out of there again. So my whole left side was maced. But again, she went right back up there, right back up to the front lines. I looked around and I saw the familiar faces that I've seen for the 3.5, 4 months that I've been at Standing Rock. I'm sorry, I'm emotional right now, but we looked at each other, and when you locked eyes with someone you knew, there was no words to be said. There was only a look of acknowledgement and a look that I got your back no matter what happens. Because that's how militant the police were. And yes, they told us to move back. And yes, they were like gently pushing us so that we would move back so that they would not have to arrest us. But that wasn't all of them. Some of them had smirks on their faces, and as I called them out, I said, "Sir, why do you have a smirk on your face? Why do you think it's funny that you maced us, these young women, barely in our adulthoods, multiple times, and we keep coming back right in front of you, unarmed, wearing prayers." As you guys come in helmets, in riot gear, with your guns on your hips, with your rifles in your hands, with your batons holding 5-pound extinguisher type mace cans. You have helmets on, you have bulletproof vests on, you have tasers, you've had your taser out. I've had rifles pointed at me. And we're peaceful protectors. And this is happening. So if you're watching, and if you've been following up and And not everybody can be here physically, and that's okay because we all have jobs. But I ask you to talk about it. I urge you to go out of your way and make sure people know what's happening. People know what's happening right here in America, as we peacefully protect waters which will be contaminated by this pipeline, which we have seen through the multiple breakings of countless pipelines. One just broke last week. And as more pipelines come to fruition, West Texas, I heard there was something going on in New York. We have to band together and stand up. We have to stand up and show up and speak up. And showing up looks different for many of us. Showing up may mean frontlining. Showing up may mean talking about it. Showing up may mean creating art so that people can feel empathy with it, can connect with it in a different way. Showing up may mean singing about it. If you're a singer, if you're a musician, before your show, you talk about it. Before your show, you talk about it. In a family discussion, talk about it. Let your kids know what's happening. Let your kids know that this isn't right. That peaceful protectors are being harmed physically. And mace hurts, guys. Mace is sore, and I'm still burning right now. My face is still burning. My arms are burning. And yeah, at times it was scary. But like I said, when you locked eyes with that person that you've known for the time you've been here, you knew you're okay because you had your family behind your back. You had people saying, I've got you, I've got you. I've had people pull me out of the way, making sure I wasn't maced again. I've had people putting their bodies in front of me. Uncle Frank, who's a single father of, I think, 3 daughters, he put his body in front of the youth, and he said, you guys are going to be okay. We're all going to be okay. Just know that you're going to be okay. And he made sure that we weren't taken because the police were grabbing us. They were grabbing us. And I had to pull my sisters back from being taken forcefully by the officers. I had to pull a brother of mine back. And as we came down further and further on 1806, more toward Big Camp this time, almost to the front lines of where I was arrested, the police stopped. They said, everybody halt. And at this point, there was maybe 50 or 60 of us on the front lines. Everybody else went back towards Big Camp because further down, there was more action going on. And as the police stopped, they said, all units behind the armored vehicles, behind the tanks, or whatever they referred to it. And we looked around. To the right, we saw 3 men behind a log pointing their rifles at us. Whether or not they were beanbags, whether or not they were bullets, they were ready. We had officers on the right in ATVs on the side of us, almost behind us. And we stood there not knowing what they were going to do. Many people said, cover your ears just in case that they would sound blast us or whatever you call it. And at that point, I was scared. I was scared that they were gonna shoot us. That's a real fear. I was scared that shots were gonna be taken against my brothers and sisters who are peacefully protecting. And right now, as my tears run down my face, it reminds me of how I was maced because it burns. And I'm not the only one. So many people were maced today. And so many of those same people who were maced ended up going right back to the front lines. locking arms, and we chanted, "We run for our brothers and our sisters. We run for one nation, for our people." I don't know what's going to happen tonight. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. It's still going on right now. But I do know that Spirit's on our side. Our ancestors are on our side. Because at one point, the buffalo came in. And we all looked and we all just cried. I looked up to a trailer where my brother Yaz was staying. We locked eyes. We were just bawling tears. The buffalo came in and it gave us so much strength. And I'm crying now because it hurts. It hurts me to see such a strong, forceful opposition. For them to be able to protect this pipeline to go through. While we stand here unharmed, hearts forward, hands open, to protect the water for 18 million people who rely on it, to protect the sacred lands, because enough is enough. So I ask you to pray, send prayers, talk about it, show up in any way that you can. Speak up, not just about this. Speak up about the change that's happening right now. And revolutions won't be televised, but they will be talked about. They will be told about. They will be known. So don't not do anything. Please, do something. Do something to help make this movement move, because it takes all of us. Not just us at the front lines. Not just us at camp. It takes all of us. Share the live feeds that you see, not just mine. Share the live feeds of the front lines of what happened, so that people know the physical force that was taken against us today, and that has been taken against us. I thank everybody who was there today. I thank my brothers and sisters who stood with me. I thank everybody who stayed strong and stayed safe and grounded in their actions. I thank the medics who were there, putting their bodies in front of us so that we wouldn't be maced again as they try to flush out our eyes and pour milk on us to try and relieve the burning. I thank everybody around who's been sharing videos, who's been talking about it, who's been having rallies. I thank all of the people who have high platforms that speak about this and let people know what's going on. I thank you. I love you guys, and I don't know what's gonna happen next. Right now I'm back at a family member's house. Gonna take a shower after this, but I wanted to post this because Auntie Pool wanted me to let you all know that we have to do something. We cannot just sit there and pretend like nothing's happening. And we all may live good lives in houses and turn on a faucet with clean water and flick a switch with electricity. And that may all be beautiful. But we can't take that for granted. Don't be lazy. Don't be scared. Stand up, show up, speak up, and know that we're all right behind you and we all have your back. That when you look to the left or the right and you see someone that you recognize, no words have to be said. Just a head nod, an acknowledgement that whatever happens, we're there for you. In all ways and always. So thank you. And we'll try to keep you updated as much as possible. For right now, me personally, I'm safe. The youth members are safe. Thank you.